NITT viewers, I am DS and welcome to another episode on Channel NITT. So in this episode, we are going to start a new series called the Body Language 101 series. So what is this Body Language 101 about? So in this Body Language 101 series, we will be sharing with our viewers some very basic principles of interpreting body language.
Read my lips, I'm into you, I'm into you.
So hopefully after watching the entire series, you will be better at interpreting the body language of other people and also watching the body language of yourself. This can definitely help you in a lot of ways. This will definitely help you in many different areas such as dating, parenting, and at work. So in our very first video on body language, we are going to talk about space. The term personal space refers to the physical distance between two individuals in a social environment, a family environment, or a work environment. You can treat personal space as this invisible bubble shield around you that you call your own physical comfort zone. Imagine you are on a relatively empty bus, so you go out the bus and you choose your seat. There are a lot of other vacant seats. However, on the next stop, a next passenger comes in and of all the spaces choose to sit beside you, and he is a stranger. You don't know him. You definitely will be irritated. There are so many seats around. Why do you choose to sit beside me? Well, you will be irritated because this person, a stranger, has invaded into your personal space. So the concept of personal space is very fluid. Imagine that the bus is getting filled and the only available seat now is just beside you. You will feel that it is okay for somebody to sit beside you. But definitely not in the case of the empty bus. So what are other factors that will determine personal space? One of the most important factors in determining how much personal space you need with another person is how familiar you are with this person. So in general, people who are intimate, such as lovers and children, generally your personal space with them is between 0 to 30 cm.
There'll be no distance between us.
And with friends, the personal space may be slightly more, and it is going to be even more if this person is an acquaintance or just a co-worker. So at work, we also tend to maintain a large personal space between our clients and our customers. However, this personal space is going to be less than that of a stranger. So if you are with someone you do not know at all, you will tend to stand further away from this person. But it also depends on constrained space. So imagine you are in a lift, and this lift is only 1 meter by 1 meter. Okay, so let's say this lift is just 1 meter by 1 meter. You cannot stand that far away from that individual. You will tend to stand maybe diagonally away from the other person, and this maximizes the distance between the two of you. However, generally in a white space, such as in a restaurant or in a park, the physical distance that you would want to maintain with a stranger or another group of people that you do not know would be at least 1 to 3 meters. So we have talked about how the type of relationship may affect the personal space that you need, whether it is a professional relationship, a platonic relationship, or no relationship. So another factor that might affect the actual distance between two individuals is gender. So let's say you are female and then you are interacting with another male or another female, the physical distance that you need, that you will consider comfortable, may be really different. So talking about personal space, there is always this implicit understanding between individuals regardless of whether you know one another. That is, you need to maintain a safe distance between another person. So this will be very evident in queues. So also, when you board an empty bus or an empty train, the implicit understanding is that you try to fill up a seat that is not occupied either on the left or right by another person. This is because you need a personal space and you do not want to invade into another personal space as well. However, it also depends. There are a lot of people who want convenience. So they just want to sit beside the door. Of course, there is another exception, and that is in the gentleman's lavatory. Now, generally, men are very lazy fellows. They will go to the nearest urinal whenever possible. So you may have already taken up the first urinal, the next man who comes in will definitely just use the second one. So in this case, it is a common understanding between men that there is no need for personal space.
Flower, flower.
But of course, if there is a man who comes in and prefers to go all the way to the back to pee, that is possibly an indication that he as an individual needs a lot of personal space, or he may have urination anxiety. Okay, that is a totally different topic altogether. We will talk about that if there is an opportunity next time. So now that we have talked about personal space, how is it relevant to body language? So imagine now you're going on a date with someone.
A smoky room, a small cafe.
So generally, when a person is talking to you, they are being polite by leaning forward and appearing to be very attentive. So leaning forward itself is just a sign of courtesy and may not be a sign of interest. So how can you tell whether the person might be interested? So you can look for other subconscious or unconscious body language signs. In this case, I would encourage you to look discreetly at his or her toes. Well, of course, the person must be wearing a shoe, right? So what I'm talking about is the tip of the feet. Look at where the shoe is pointing. So an indication of interest is possibly that the person is actually stretching the leg somewhat towards you. This somehow minimizes or shortens the perceived personal distance between you and the person. You understand what I'm talking about? Of course, if a person likes you, he or she will likely also show you other indicators. But in this episode, since we are talking about personal space and personal distance between individuals, we will only focus on this tip. So remember the tip? So again, this tip is watch out for the distance between the person's feet and you. Is the person pointing his or her feet towards you? Of course, please look discreetly. In our future episodes, we'll be sharing more videos like this, which will tell you how to interpret body language from a psychological point of view. If you have not subscribed, do consider subscribing so that you can get notified whenever we upload more videos. Okay, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I'll see you again in our next episode. Goodbye!